And if you like this reading, as I always ask you, please like, subscribe, leave a comment if that's what you'd like to do. I don't mind. You can, you can't, you do whatever you like. And I'm sorry, I'm so silly. I'm going to start your reading right now for Sagittarius. So the first card you have for your past is the Seven of Swords. Yes, horrible card. No one likes this card. It's obviously about, stealing, lying, tricking, all of that horrible stuff. So I actually think someone might be accusing you of being a bit like this, or saying things or something. This is someone you left behind. There's a lot of gossip, there's a lot of accusations, all of that kind of thing. And I think you're away from this person now, but I think no matter how far away you are, they're still talking about you. They're probably still talking about you now. I hate to say this, but that's what I'm seeing. This kind of, oh, this person did that, this person did this. But this card's overwhelmingly golden. It's yellow, and yellow represents intellect, intelligence sometimes. It represents communication sometimes. So yeah, they're talking about you, but it's also about intelligence. So I think even though they're talking about you, you're a lot smarter than whoever this is. I know that sounds horrible, but that's what I'm seeing. And I'm not seeing you retaliating. I'm not seeing you saying anything to them. So I think you just kept your head down and you moved on, and you haven't said anything about this, even though you might know about this talk, you might not, but you probably know it's always going on, but you're just not saying anything about this, or you weren't at this time. And I think you might have had to do a similar thing when you got away from them. When you first left or when you first separated. They might be a difficult person. I think they are. They're a volatile person maybe, or very difficult because of all this talk and this gossip and drama and everything. So I think what happened was you had to keep your head down then as well, and just you just had to back away, and you had to try and create as little drama as possible, or you just didn't want to add to the drama that was already there. You wanted to kind of minimize everything. And so if this is all resonating with you, I think you're still going to have to keep your head down for a while, because whoever this is, they still talk about you. They talk about other people as well, though. I think this is probably going to sound horrible. I don't mean it to, but I think this is one of these people who go around talking about how everyone's terrible to them. This person's done this, everything's wrong. And yeah, there are some bad people around. Everyone knows that, but everyone they've come into contact with can't be bad. Everyone can't be. And, bad things have happened to me. Bad things happen to everyone. But you can't use that as a reason to keep on wallowing on every bad thing that's ever happened to you forever and ever. Because what does it do? It leaves you stuck. You're stuck in the past. You're stuck wallowing. You can't move forward. And there comes a time when no matter what's happened to you, I'm sorry to say this, I know some people have been through some terrible things, and it's very hard for them. I'm not just saying snap out of this and get over it, but what I'm saying is there comes a time when you do have to move forward, because then you're letting whatever bad thing happened control you. And I think with this person, they're doing a lot of that to themselves. They're really making it, they're magnifying what's happened. They're talking about it over and over and over again, and it's not doing anything for them. And I think they're not very self-aware as well. And, it's really sad, actually. It's really sad when people feel as if they can't move forward. They can't pull themselves out of things. So I think that's what's happened with this person. And, I think you tried. I think you tried to help them. But, you can only do so much for someone, and they needed to help themselves. And, you couldn't do any more for them. That's what I'm seeing in that card. I know that's quite, I can't think of the silly word. Specific. I know that's quite specific. What's wrong with me? But yeah, that's what I'm seeing there. So, okay, so the next card you have your past is the Devil. Yeah, the ugly, horrible, I can't bear him. So yeah, so this can be about being stuck in bad behaviours. And to me, the Devil's about fear a lot of the time. Fear of getting out of something, fear of change. So this is definitely about this person again. And I think they're almost addicted to being a victim. I know that sounds horrible, and I don't victim blame. I know some people say, oh, that's your fault. I don't like to do that. But in this case, I think they are kind of stuck in that kind of, this is someone who, there's someone who can't change. I'm seeing a lot of repetition. I think they might tell people the same stories over and over again about how horrible this is, and this person said that, and that person said this, and they're kind of stuck there. They're stuck in the past, and not just in the past, but they're stuck in the negative past that's in their heads. So part of it might be true, and they might be embellishing things or making them worse than they are, or the more they talk about them on and on and on, the bigger they get, these bad things. So, it's kind of almost like an addictive behavior, and that's what the devil can be about. It could be about addiction as well. And with any addictive behavior, only they can bring themselves out of this. You've tried, and only they can help themselves. So even though you're away from this person, and obviously you don't want to be around them, I think you feel a bit sad about this whole thing as well. And I do too. I feel very sad for this person. I know it sounds like I'm blaming them, but I just feel very, it is very, very sad when someone's stuck in this kind of thing. So, if this resonates, just know that, you did everything you could for them. That's what I'm seeing. There's nothing else you could have done. You just had to be away from them, because I think that kind of negative energy was really starting to drag you down. That's what I'm seeing there. So, yeah, so the last card you have your past is the Page of Cups. Yeah, look at this. You're definitely feeling a lot freer since you separated from this person. And they were chained, not just to their problems. I'm just looking at this Devil card again. They weren't just chained to their problems, but they were chained to the perceptions that they had of these problems, and also the perceptions that they had about themselves. Oh, I can't help myself. I'm down in this terrible thing. And I think they had you chained to them as well. So it was like, no matter how much you gave to them or what you did for them or how much you helped them, it was never enough. I mean, if you look at this again, look at how fat this devil is. He's so big and fat. And if you look at the woman on the left-hand side, and you look at this woman, she's got this little tail, and on the end of her tail are a bunch of grapes. So it's like, no matter how much you feed the devil, it's never enough. So no matter what you did for them, it was never enough. So anyway, yes, once you got over all of that, I think you might have been having a bit of fun, like this page. It felt a little bit like a holiday to you. He looks like he's at the beach, actually. So once this darkness had lifted, once you got over that heaviness of all of that, it was like, oh, finally, it was a relief. You still felt sad that this person was still like this, but you felt relieved that you're kind of out of that energy. And I think you've settled back down out of that kind of holiday mode now. I'm seeing someone around you, and this is a love connection, and a different person again, a new person around you, not this old person. But this page isn't very serious. He's very light-hearted. So the feeling is, it's not that you're not taking this seriously, this new relationship. I think you're just taking it a bit easy. You're probably just taking your time, seeing how everything goes. I just don't think you feel very comfortable jumping right in yet, especially after you've been around this devil situation. I can't blame you if that's how you're feeling, if that resonates. I mean, look at the difference between the two cards. You don't want to go back to that again. You don't want to be trapped. You don't want to be chained again. And it's not that you see this relationship as chaining you. It's just, and it doesn't mean you don't love this person. You do, I think. It's just that you're grateful for this time of freedom, and you're kind of making the most of that freedom before you kind of commit. That's what I'm seeing. So yeah, I'll move on to the next one, which is your present, which is the Fool. And yeah, fantastic. Again, this is following on from the Page of Cups, because this is the ultimate freedom card. Yeah, again, I think you're probably just enjoying not having to cater to this negative energy anymore. It's like you're back in the light, you're back in the sun, like this Fool with the sun on his back. And, it's a beautiful feeling having the sun on your back. You just want to stay there forever. So I'm not sure if this person that you're with quite understands that. I think they might be wondering why they're not feeling this big 100% commitment from you. I think you do probably spend a bit of time away from them, or that's how they feel. They feel as if you're spending too much time away from them. They're a little bit like the dog on this card, the little dog. They're kind of jumping up and down saying, come back to me, I'm afraid you're going to go, I'm afraid you're going to leave me. And they are a bit afraid of that. They have this fear that you're not quite committed to them yet. And I don't know if you've had a conversation about this with them or not, but if you haven't, I think they might just need a little bit of reassurance, and I think what they need is they just need you to be a little bit more open about how you feel. Just be a bit honest. Just tell them, I've been through this horrible situation. I've been around this person. It was such a drain on me. It was dark. It was terrible. I was chained to this. I felt like I couldn't get away, and I just don't want to go back there again. I'm not saying you're sending me back there, but I just need this time just to kind of get over that. And if that is resonating, if that's what's happened, you've just got to explain that to them, because I think they'd be open. I think if you did say all of that to them, or whatever else fits the situation, I think they'd be open to that. I think they'd be willing to listen, and they'd understand a bit more. That's what I'm seeing. So have a conversation with them. Just be open if you haven't had this conversation with them already. So yeah, the next card you have your presence, the Three of Wands. So obviously this is about waiting. And I think I saw something about this in your last reading. I'm seeing a lot of problems around your workplace. There's a lot of unsteadiness. I'm seeing a lot of people who feel a bit uneasy about their jobs, whether they're going to keep their jobs or not. It's a very stressful place to be in. I've been feeling this for a while, actually. So now I think you might have put in some applications. I think you're at the stage where you put in some applications, or maybe you've just been doing a bit of research about what else is out there. I think you've definitely been putting yourself out there a bit more, and you're waiting to see what comes back. So yeah, it's a time of waiting, and I think you're actually going to have a few offers coming into you. I'm seeing more than one offer actually, and I think in the end you might be narrowing it down to a decision between two different options. Now, what I'm seeing is I'm seeing one option that pays more initially, and you might be tempted to take this offer, but think about this very carefully if this resonates. Take your time, because I think the other offer, the second offer, I think that's probably going to be better for you in the long run, because I think I'm seeing more prospects, I'm seeing more opportunities coming later on. So you might not see them to begin with, but there are options open for you to kind of rise up later. So I think that's what's happening in this second offer. So yeah, there's another one as well. There's a third offer, but I think you're going to dismiss that. So I think it's going to be out of these two offers. So, I'm not saying definitely take the second offer over the first one or whatever, but just find out as much as you can about the future prospects, not the immediate ones, the future ones, about these two, and just compare them, because I think you'll find the second one might be really good for you, and it's not apparent that the offer's there right in front of you. It's something that gives you that growth later on, if that makes sense. So the next card you have, or the last card you have, your present I should say, is the Three of Cups. Yeah, again, look at this. I've never seen this in this card before. This is about this job thing again. This is about these offers. So again, this is what I'm seeing. Look at this. Look at these women. So you're going to have these three choices, and one of them you're going to dismiss immediately. So look at this. One of these women has her back to us. So that's the one you're going to dismiss. You're going to turn your back on that. And all these women are equal. They're the same height. They're all dancing in the same direction. So it's going to be very hard to differentiate between the last two options. You're going to say, what am I going to choose? But if you choose carefully and you choose the one that has the bigger abundance later on, that's when you're going to be celebrating. So and that's what these women are celebrating. They're celebrating an abundance, but they're celebrating an abundance that comes later. Because if you're making wine, firstly, if you're growing wine, you have to grow the grapes. It takes a long time. Then you have to ferment the grapes. It takes a long time. You have to squash them. I don't know which order it's in, whatever. But it takes a long time to ferment. It takes a long time. You know, they're in barrels and they're sitting there. It takes years and years and years sometimes. And then you open the wine and you enjoy it. So the abundance and the money and everything that's going to come from this and the opportunities are going to be later on. So wait for good wine. Good wine, you know, gets better with age. So wait for this abundance to come in. Wait, and the opportunity, or the one you're going to choose, is the one that has the abundance later on. I hope that makes sense. So the first card you have for your future is the Hierophant. So I think the Hierophant can be about formal studies, it can be about institutions, it can be about the church and learning and all that. So I think you might have to do some extra studying, some extra training when you take up this opportunity. And I am seeing you feeling a little bit daunted by this, a little bit worried, but yeah, it's going to be fine. And I think this is going to benefit you as well, this extra learning that you're doing. The other thing I'm seeing is there might be a bit of pressure around this love connection that I was seeing in the Page of Cups. And I think that might be partly what's fueling this worry that they have. I don't know what stage you're at in this relationship, but I think the feeling I'm getting is that they'd like to be further along than where they are, at a higher level than where they are, maybe, if that makes sense. Like, to me, there aren't any levels. You just enjoy being with someone, but that's me. I think they might, maybe they have a more traditional background. That might be what's fueling this. They might be under pressure from people around them. They might have people saying, oh, what stage you're at in that relationship? Are you engaged yet? Are you formal? Are you actually, do you have a status yet? They might be asking things like that. Because the Hierophant can be about marriage. It can be about very traditional marriage. So that might be one of the things that's fueling this as well, this anxiousness. So yeah, just keep that in mind. That might be what's around this, other people kind of pressuring them and feeling as if, oh, I have to get to this stage, I have to get to that stage. Yeah, so the next card you have your future is the Queen of Wands. Yeah, I absolutely love this queen. I love her. She's confident, she gets on with things, and you know, she's the only queen who's looking at us right in the eyes, and she's facing us face on, which I love about this queen. So that means she's honest, she's upfront, she says what she means. So I'm seeing a few things here. The first thing is, I think you're going to be feeling a lot more enthusiastic around work, even if you're still in your old workplace, and even if you're not feeling all that happy from day to day. I think just the fact that you have these other options and you know they're there, that's going to make you feel a lot more confident and not as stuck mentally as you used to be. The other thing I'm seeing is, I think you're going to be feeling a lot bolder as well. I'm laughing because I'm seeing a situation where for a long time you might have been holding back of saying something. I think there's someone around you in the workplace, and I think they might have been making some little slide digs, being a bit shady, saying a few little things, and you let it slide, you let it go, you know. But I think now you're getting more bolder, you're getting more confident. I think you're actually going to say something to this person, and I think they're going to be quite surprised. And you're a lot bolder because I know you've got these other opportunities. You're like, well, I can leave soon. I can do this. I can do that. I don't care. I'll say this. So it might not be that extreme, but it's something like that. They're going to be very, very surprised. And I'm laughing because I actually think they deserve it. So I'm sorry, I do. That's what I'm seeing. So, okay. So the last card you have for your future is the Hanged Man. Okay, so again, I don't mean to turn this into a workplace reading, but I keep on seeing work things now. So this is how you're going to be around your workplace for a while. I think, you know, this man's thinking you know, he's a thinking man. He's thinking about something. He knows something that other people might not know. And he has his hands behind his back. So he's hiding something. He knows something. So you're going to be keeping a lot of things to yourself. You'll have these opportunities, but you won't be able to say anything, of course, until everything's official. You won't be able to say anything for a while. So you'll be holding on to this. And you might have to keep all of this to yourself for a little bit longer than you thought you would, because I'm actually seeing a few delays here, because you have this card, which is holding back, waiting, and you also have the Three of Wands, which is the waiting card. So if you're in a situation where you're having to wait or there are delays, just know that, this is going to happen. It's definitely going to happen, even if you're waiting. The opportunities are going to come to you. And again, two things are going to stand out, and you're going to have to decide on one of those two things. Because if you look at this card, there's a T, and there's growth on one side, he's in the middle, there's growth on the other side, and he's kind of in the middle, choosing between the two. So I'm seeing that again in this card. So yeah, Sagittarius, I hope this resonated, but as you know, general readings can't always resonate with everyone. But again, if you like this reading, please like, subscribe, leave a comment if you'd like to do that, and thank you so much for watching.